Listen, on Tuesday, we did quarterbacks and running backs. Today, we are doing wide receivers and tight ends for our mid-season review, looking at where we ranked guys coming into the year, where they're ranked right now. Let's talk about it because we definitely had some wins, some losses here, some injuries that held us back, but we'll jump into it right here. This is full PPR standard, full PPR scoring. So, Wes, I'm going to jump in to your top 10 wide receivers on the season, where you ranked them coming into the year. At number 10, you had Philadelphia Eagles superstar A.J. Brown. At number 10, top 10 wide receiver easily. I don't think anyone foresaw this sort of success. I know I didn't have him where he is. He is currently wide receiver 2 on the season, maybe thanks to some injuries, maybe thanks to some other things, but he has been outright tremendous this year. No doubt about it. At wide receiver 9, you had Mr. Davante Adams. He's only at wide receiver 13. I was shocked to see. I thought he was definitely a lot further down that list, but we can tell by your face we're not thrilled with Davante Adams this year either.
No. Hopefully O'Connell
Not very
turns
exciting
it around for him.
We'll see what happens there. Yeah, at number 8, you had Jalen Waddle. He's wide receiver 24 right now, but has been coming on strong the last couple weeks. I believe he just took a few weeks to get tuned in here. I know he was injured one week. He was out. I know he's been in and out of games with injury. Jalen Waddle's been looking pretty good the last couple weeks. Devonta Smith, you had as your wide receiver 7. And he's wide receiver 22, and I'm shocked to see that he's there, if I'm being honest. I think there's been a couple spike weeks for Devonta Smith.
Yeah, I thought he would be amazing, obviously, and that's why I thought A.J. Brown would be even lower. Had I known that Devonta Smith was definitely the number 2, A.J. Brown would be as high as you had him. You had him as 5th.
Yeah, I was pretty high up there. Yeah, I was pretty high up there, and even that was too low, At 6, Wes, you had Garrett Wilson. My goodness, this one has an asterisk next to it. He is wide receiver 31 with Zach Wilson. We all were ready for Garrett Wilson with Aaron Rodgers, and we did not get it, so that is disappointing. So a little bit of a bummer there. At 5, Wes, you have Cooper Kupp. He is currently wide receiver 55, but that has an asterisk as well. He missed games. And also, we have the emergence of Puka Nacua. Like, it's what happened there? Like, the wide receiver 4 they just flip-flopped here. If you had asked me by week 9 who would be wide receiver 55 and who would be wide receiver 4, we would have that flipped around there. But Puka Nacua is up there at 4. He has been awesome, and also he's been playing the entire time. So, Cooper Kupp had the injuries, also has Puka Nacua, who's come onto the scene, which we did not anticipate. At wide receiver 4, Wes, you had Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I was flabbergasted at this placement whenever we talked about it initially. He's currently wide receiver 9. I believe they're on their bye week right now, but he has been injured. He missed a game as well, I believe. So, great stuff from Amon-Ra St. Brown, though. I'm thrilled to have him on my fantasy teams where I have him. He's been absolutely awesome. No doubt about it. As your wide receiver
not
3,
being
Wes,
talked enough either.
No, nowhere near. Yeah, he definitely needs to be discussed more. At wide receiver 3, we had Justin Jefferson, Wes. He's wide receiver 18. He's still a top 20 wide receiver. He hasn't played in a few games. So that's had some asterisks there, and obviously it's going to be affected by Kirk Cousins being gone as well. So that is all good there. As your wide receiver 2, Wes, you had Tyreek Hill. Those where I had him as well. Obviously, he is the wide receiver 1 and the number 1 scorer in all of fantasy football. So up to this point in the season, he's been unbelievable. Very, very exciting stuff from Tyreek Hill this year. And as your wide receiver 1, we had Jamar Chase, Wes. He's the wide receiver 5 right now. That is
cannot believe he
unbelievable. That is unbelievable. I looked at it and I was like, oh my goodness. He was so bad to start the year. How is he wide receiver 5? It's crazy stuff there. But listen, those are where we're at here. The current top 10 wide receivers are CeeDee Lamb at 10, Amon-Ra St. Brown at 9, Adam Thielen as the wide receiver 8, DJ Moore at wide receiver 7. Man, those 2 games really helped him out there. Those 2 games were incredible.
Honestly.
Wide receiver 6, Jamar Chase. Wide receiver 5, Keenan Allen. Wide receiver 4, Puka Nacua. Wide receiver 3, Stephon Diggs. Who did you have him at 11, Wes?
I know he wasn't in that top 10. There on the screen.
11 or 12.
So he was 11 or 12, but that was again, as we mentioned last episode, why Josh Allen was barely in my top 5 and not in your top 5. We thought this was going to be a much more conservative offense. We thought they were going to be more on the ground. They were going to be a little bit safer, and that is not the case. So I just thought Stephon Diggs was not going to get what he's doing now, and well, he still is, and he's winning leagues right now.
Yeah, he's been awesome. Number 2, A.J. Brown, and then number 1, Tyreek Hill. Those are the wide receivers. Wes, let's jump into my tight ends for the 2023 season so far.
Tightest ends of the season, and let me tell you something. You have a pretty good list because this was really tough to predict and to guess. It's pretty much who we thought it was going to be, but even still, it's just nice to see that at least we do know who the right tight ends are. So you thought going into the season, you were going to take a shot. You said Hayden Hurst of the Carolina Panthers, new team, new quarterback, rookie franchise player, was going to be a nice safety net for him. Turns out that was Adam Thielen the whole time.
Yeah.
Hayden Hurst is not tight end 10. He's tight end 34 on the year. He had a great first game. He got the first touchdown of Bryce Young's career, and that's all he's done since. The aforementioned last night's Chigokonkwo is tight end 31. You thought he was going to be tight end 9 on the season.
Yeah.
That definitely did change with the acquisition of DeAndre Hopkins. Maybe Will Levis starts to look towards the tight end more often, but, you know, it's commendable to take a shot and to look at the way, you know, who's going to be 10th and 9th on the tight end position. Number 8 in the season you thought was going to be TJ Hawkinson. And that was because you thought it was going to be too many mouths to feed. You thought it was going to be too much of Justin Jefferson. And you were even higher than I was in Jordan Addison. You saw this happening, and it still turned out up to this point that Hawkinson got fed plenty. And also you did not predict that Justin Jefferson was going to be placed on injured reserve. So he's tight end 2 on the season instead of 8th where you had him. Going into the year, you thought David Njoku was going to be 7th. And, you know, he's tight end 16. He's been doing pretty well lately. We said he was a for-real candidate in our Fluke for Real segment. So I wouldn't be surprised if he found his way in the top 10 by the end of the year. He's been playing well. Good choice. And I expect to see this pretty soon. Number 6, big ol' whiff and an asterisk on this. You had Pat Freiermuth. This guy's been hurt the entire season. I forgot he even played, man. He was just gone and nothing. And big miss, man. One of my favorite clips from our season was the Muth-Luth. Yeah. And we don't even get to talk about the Muth. He's not Luth at all. He's bedridden. Anyway, top 5 tight ends on the year. George Kittle was your tight end 5. He's tight end 5. You hit the money.
Let's go, baby.
The nail on the head. You're right there. And you had the exact reasoning, too, which was some massive weeks and some barely anything weeks. That seems to be the case right there. You thought tight end 4 would be Dallas Goedert, and it took some time for him to get going, but he is in the top 10. He's tight end 8. So not there, but definitely playing as a top 4 tight end as of late. So I think that's pretty good. This is not going to stay. Tight end 3, you thought Darren Waller was going to be right there. You thought he was going to be big, huge. You were excited. I was excited too. I got hyped. I started drafting him everywhere else. And Tyrod Taylor managed to bring him into the top 9 going into week 9, but that has obviously changed as he's about to be out for many, many weeks. So fun while it lasted, and it lasted basically 2 weeks. Anyway, top 2, Mark Andrews, you had his number 2. He's tight end 4, playing great. And tight end 1, I'm surprised, it's Travis Kelce. He's the tight end 1 on the season as well. You got that one correct. So that's the top 10 tight ends on the season. And here's the official list. Couple of players that we did not mention here. Logan Thomas, Washington Commanders tight end, is 10th. That guy.
And old.
I guess he had a good game. And old. Cole Kmet is 7th. Cole Kmet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had another really good game in that DJ Moore, Justin Fields run. And the Sixth tight end that you did not name is Evan Ingram, who you thought was going to be very similar to the TJ Hawkinson situation. Too many mouths to feed. Well, we kind of thought Calvin Ridley was going to be really great.
Yeah, after week one, I felt great about that take.
Yeah, and he's not been great. Yeah. So, I mean, they are leading the division, so things are going okay for them there. Last but not least, the only other tight end you did not list is a top 3 tight end on the season. You want to take a guess? You got it.
It's Laporta.
It's Laporta. It's the rookie tight end.
What a guy.
What a guy. Because you and I, you made the great, just quick, bold take in the middle of our first preseason rankings of like, ain't no way rookies making top 10. They barely do anything. And wait till you see Dalton Kincaid end up in the top 10 as well, man.
I was going to say, he's going to make his way in there as well. Yeah, he's going to make his way in there too. This is awesome. This is so cool. Yeah, Laporta's been great. Kincaid's on his way. Well, the times are changing. Watch out for these rookie tight ends, I guess. Man, this is exciting stuff.